Earthman Organics. Anyway, today we're going to discuss herbalism for your motor vehicle. Okay, trucks, tractors, whatever you've got. I know that sounds funny. I've got my special hat on. Me working on vehicles hat, ditch witch, and all that. I'm trying to make it as short as possible. So down in here. There's quite a large, I've got a Mazda BT50, so underneath the battery plate, which goes where my hand is there's still 4 or 5 inches there, and about nearly almost a foot wide, about 10 inches wide. And that's enough for a rat to pack all this material. There were 5 rats in here, baby rats, right? And mama rat shoots through for the day and goes and sleeps up on my roof there somewhere. But anyway, they don't like peppermint oil. It's better, prevention is better than the cure. So I've got some live peppermint here, one of the many peppermints, because I grow herbs for the markets and stuff. But I did have camphor balls in there because this all happened a month back. And you can't keep a cat under the hood of your vehicle, and I'm not allowed to have cats either. But anyway, so the odd stray cat walks through and grabs a rat or two. So in here I've got the camphor balls that you put in your cupboard to stop moths chewing your clothes, because rats don't like them, but they won't stop rats. So as well, I have a wad of fabric all folded up with leaves and things inside it, but I've soaked it in peppermint and spearmint and white sage oil. Now, I only had cheap white sage oil. I mean, cheap as in it's still 15 bucks a bottle, but I had this, which is spearmint. This is a remedy kind of aromatherapy massage treatment oil, but its main ingredients is spearmint oil and peppermint oil. It's to uplift the spirit and everything. But anyway, so all this is in this, and this is a barbecue scourer. And the baby rats, they've gone. The kookaburras, I put them out for the kookaburras, and it took all of about 5 seconds for them to all be eaten up, as horrible as that may sound. So this barbecue scourer, they start off looking like that you scrub. I use cast iron cookware because it's healthier than the modern crap, and they start off looking like a donut, I suppose. So you just unroll and unroll and unroll, and you end up with a big sock kind of thing, and then you just fold it on itself, fold on itself, fold on itself, and that stops all the ingredients and can take the heat of the engine bay, right? Shove it there. It's with the balls inside it there, it's too big to fall through the gap, right? I've got to redo it because I pulled it out to show you, but prevention is better than the cure. Because they've started chewing there. They've chewed all over there, the firewall, the stuffing. They'd taken it through into the cabin, into the, like through the glove box, and built a nest in the glove box, which I was unaware of. They started chewing on my rego papers and things like that, and all sorts of good stuff. So and you find things that have gone missing, like pieces of your clothing, in their nests. And last time there was one of these good flannelette shirts of mine. This time it's rags that I keep in the back of the truck, and yeah, so it's just a handy hint. Shove that down in there, shove your battery plate back on, put your battery in, because it is very hard, like I'm 59 years old now, and I'm no weakling, but it is difficult to lift a big truck battery out of a vehicle like this, because they get hooked in there, and you try and hold all the wires out of the way so you don't break them with your other hand, and it's quite a pain. So here's another quick tip. that I've figured out today. A milk crate or a step ladder, or you know, a stable chair. Get yourself up above, right up above it, and then it's much easier with the little, you know, handle that you're provided with on the battery that folds out to lift it directly up. It was so easy, because the first time I had a go at it, it got stuck. And the other thing is, underneath the handle of the battery, put a piece of fabric soaked in oil in there, won't affect the plastic or anything, and some herbs and things. And you know, if you've got mint, use mint or spearmint or anything that smells mentholy, they don't like. So fold it down on top of that, because the battery, even if your car hasn't been going for a couple of days and the engine's, you know, not holding the heat, that battery holds a little bit of warmth because it's always active. And even though, you know, nothing's turned on, and rats sit on top of it, like all here was just packed with rat shit in here, and I'd cleaned it off a couple of days ago. So yep. And the other tip an old man showed me once is always keep the top of your battery here as dust free as possible. That way, if your vehicle's not being used, charge doesn't transfer through the terminals, because charge can transfer through something like that. So don't put any oil or anything around these. Some people put Vaseline on the metal, that can help too. Anyway, I'm no expert on vehicles, but my truck's called Alice and I can't afford another truck, so I've got to take care of this one. And yep, rightio, pretty long video now, so just remember, anything spearmint, mint, white sage, that's a bit of an experiment, but it does deter many creatures. Okay, lots of love all. This is my beautiful garden. Okay, well, part of it goes on and on and on. Okay, bye guys.